Yeah.
Because you can go to 10 different marketing websites and there will be 10 different articles, but they're all saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because they know you don't understand.
Yep.
If they told you exactly what it is that you needed to do and gave you the tools to do it, people like me would be out of business.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, the people who run those websites would be out of business. I said, so I could pull out my laptop and use tools that will tell me exactly how many of your followers are fake, where they came from, how much you paid for them.
Bots.
Okay? And I can tell you that I can clean it up for you. But that costs.
Mm-hmm. As well
but
as should.
Since you said in the beginning of this, you can't afford me, you've already priced yourself out of a range. What you should have said was, how can you help me? This is what I have. And then let's speak.
Let's work. Yeah.
So you can't, there's nothing you can offer me. You know, you can't offer, well, I could do that, I could paint your house. Or I can, walk your dog for you. Well, I do that. That you taking joy away from me. What you can do is pay me.
Yeah.
It's
going to come back around to it.
But because if you pay me or you pay anyone, I could recommend you to some people.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, some people you really can't afford. But I can point you in the right direction, and they're going to do the exact same thing I'm going to do. When I started my marketing company, my mission statement is to help those who automatically outprice themselves.
Bong. Hell's RZA. Bong. Just saying, man.
Because that's the first thing. The name of my company is Urban All-Star Media. And we help you manage every urban jungle one step at a time. Because it takes a lot to be an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to understand the science behind social media. You have to understand why getting certain numbers. So, Serge, I'm going to use you as an example. You can go on Instagram right now. I can show you 10 sites where you can buy followers. I wouldn't suggest it, but I can show you.
I would never do that.
Okay? But guess what? That's cool. But if you're not getting the right amount of engagement, you're not getting the right
You can have
reach.
10,000 followers and no
nobody's.
likes.
And
Yeah,
it's not even
nobody's-
so much likes.
It's
though.
nobody saying anything.
It-
Nobody's
see,
commenting. Nobody's.
It's a combination of that.
You're not
So
getting-
these numbers have to be synonymous. There's some words I just can't pronounce.
Synonymous.
Synonymous. See, I got to put that on my list. There's 5. That's 6 words now I can't pronounce. But you have to understand what the numbers mean.
Mm-hmm.
Because if these numbers don't make sense, I could look at an account and be like, so how much did you spend to buy all these people? And no, I ain't buy. I would be like, I could pick apart your numbers without even having access to your account. So imagine if I can do that.
Oh, yeah.
How do you think that you're fooling a record company?
People that are
advertisers.
people that are actually invested in or want to be invested in you, that have the teams to research all of that within seconds.
I had a client that he actually got signed to a major label, but it was only after they got rid of most of his team.
Oh, shit. Jesus.
And the
That makes
reason
sense.
why is because his team came to me. I was like, this is what needs to do to grow your audience, blah, blah, blah. And his manager worked for a major record label, and he said, I don't want to go through all of that. Here's X amount of dollars. Just buy all the followers.
Damn.
And I was like, you're not going to be able to get this done, this done, this done, this done. And I'm really shocked because you work for a major label.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Just buy it. And I literally tried for a month to talk them out of it. Well, needless to say, they got fired.
Yeah, of course.
The one who was the middleman just played stupid the whole time. Well, this is what he wants, because the guy telling me to buy all the followers was paying all for everything. And the artist was like, he was being a typical artist, so his passwords would change every day, 3-4 times a day. And I finally said, can you get him on the phone? And when they finally did, I said, okay, which one is it? And he was like, what? I was like, is it the feds, a baby mama, a couple of baby mamas, or your boyfriend? Who is it that's going through your phone that you feel that you have to change your password to the point that he was changing his password so that one of my systems got locked in. So when he got signed to a major label, they had to contact me to figure out how to get my system to stop. And I was like, you're going to have to pay me for that.
Yeah. Man, look here. That just lets you know. It's about image. That sounds. What I heard with that was that they wanted to perpetuate an image. They wanted to be, this person is popular. Let's get these dollars. That's what it was about.
The funny thing is that they didn't have to, because he's a good-looking guy who can actually sing. And they just wanted to fast track a deal. And I was like, it was mind-boggling to me, because in my head I'm going, but you work for a major label. You know this doesn't work. But it didn't matter. So I'm glad that they got rid of him and that his career, but once again, now he had to start at the bottom.
Yeah, you got to start all over.
So they had to scrub all of his accounts. And where they was trying to bypass and go straight to terrestrial radio, they couldn't afford it. So now he's doing college radio and internet radio, which is what I was setting up for him.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was like, no, that won't get him anywhere. That will help build his fans.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's not going to have to work hard. If you give me 6 months, he should be good. No, this got to happen within a month. I was like, well, damn.
Well, I mean, we live in a microwave society.
I was just
now.
about to
I was getting ready to
that.
say he was working just as fast as Jesus and God. Yeah. But
that's what it is. Like people just, it's like people don't have the patience for work.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, when you
Not
hear
one
that, oh, it's going to take a whole lot of work to do. Well, what's the fastest way for us to get this done?
yeah.
And the fastest way isn't always the best way.
Exactly.
And it usually ends up taking longer. You usually end up starting back over just because you tried to skip a step or you tried not to do something. You know what I'm saying?
And it's the skipping of steps is what artists listening to other artists, that's what happens to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because there could be an artist that will sit there and try to convince you that they know everything that's going on. The worst thing I could do is be an artist and try to manage another artist. I'm competing with my client. That's a competition.
Yeah.
So you have to decide what lane you want to play. Are you going to be a manager or are you going to be an artist? And that artist has to realize, what do I want?
Mm-hmm.
Because not everybody needs a manager.
This is true. This is true. Like we're at an age. This is an age right now with everything being online. Literally, you are one Google away from learning something that you can do yourself. That, let's say you get a manager, they're not doing it. You went and Googled it and it's like, well, why didn't he tell me about that? Or why didn't he tell me about this lane? I could have put my music right here and got 300 people somewhere listening. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't know that. Why? They might have known that, but they weren't going to tell you.
Oh.
Because your music might be better than their music.
Exactly.
Your stuff might be better. Like we said, the master doesn't teach the student everything. So you got an artist. So the artists that are, shout out to all the artists who may have a former artist or artist managing them. You know what I'm saying? Just be aware. That's basically what she's saying, is be aware. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you're not, research stuff for yourself and then ask questions. Don't just take everybody's word for things.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that's like a common sense thing that gets lost when people don't know what they're doing. They just take everybody's word for it.
You just said the most important part of being an artist. It's common sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's common sense.
Yeah.
Look, I always tell people there's certain people that I will talk to and I will break everything down as the drug game because that's what they understand.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you are in a business capacity, you have to be able to really speak the language of the person that's in front of you. So you have to be able, when I spoke to this artist, I thanked him for the meeting, but I also said, I learned a lot about you. It had nothing to do about what you were saying. It had a lot to do with your body language, your vocabulary, and that let me see that you are teachable.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you held your fork, the way that you interacted with the waitress allowed me to see certain aspects of you that as an artist can be trained. Because see, being a manager is more about artist development.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, I'm not looking to manage this artist just in case they listening. I'm not trying to manage you.
Sorry. No, sorry.
But they know that. But that's what we do, and I can't do it all by myself. I'm just like the face. I have a team that works with me with Urban All-Star Media, and I have a team that works with the Next Phase Entertainment, which is the label and the management.
Okay. Shout out. I
have a team that works with Part Jams. I have a team that works with Fire and Ice.
Nice.
But I'm the catalyst. I sit there and troll people all day and say, you suck, die. And then I say in a DM, like I made it a point last year when that Yo Gotti, it goes down in my DMs.
Yeah.
It really goes down in my DMs. Like I handle more business in my Facebook DMs than anybody, I think. But it all comes down to you have to understand your wants and needs. Mm-hmm. Then you have to find out what drives you. Once you find out your wants, your needs, and understand what drives you, then you have to sit down and make it tangible. You have to write it out. This is what I want. And this is why. Put down why you want these things. Because we could all sit down and say, I want $1 million. I want a Tesla. I want this. I want to do this. But at the end of the day, what's obtainable?
Yeah. How can you get that?
How can you get that?
Yeah.
Well, I could sell a couple of bricks. I could get that. But now I'm in the dope game.
Yeah. Exactly.
How do I get out when I'm ready?
Exactly.
For every action, there's a reaction.
Yep.
It's funny. I was just thinking about it. Like, this might be oversimplification of marketing, but I was thinking about it like, I don't know why I thought of cheeseburgers. Maybe it's because I'm hungry. But it's like a cheeseburger. Like, everybody can see a cheeseburger and market a cheeseburger. You'd be like, hey, look, this cheeseburger looks great, looks absolutely delicious or whatever. But the person who knows how to make the cheeseburger knows how to market it better because they know what it takes to make the cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying?
And it never comes to your plate the same way.
Exactly.
So how do you get around that? Because every time I go to a restaurant, look at the menu, it never looks like what the menu looks like.
because the menu's just to get people in there. It's the
Exactly.
the look
Menu's
is
to
to
get
get
you
them
to
in.
buy it.
Yeah.